Howdy folks, my name is Alex, otherwise known as Z, and welcome to episode 56 of the Churner's Digest. As always, we'll start off with a disclaimer. I'm not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. As always, we'll start with our Discord shoutouts. Thank you to Kung Fuer, Cleed, Dion, Erica, and Shu Hui for their contributions to the Cleed tier. It means a lot. As well as welcome to Dean, 0.9mm, Hans Landa, Yuki, Chronic, and Kevin. Welcome all to the Patreon. We have a few different tiers in the Patreon. Feel free to contribute there if you'd like. The Discord is growing strong. There's some things that aren't discussed on the Patreon that are discussed in there. Normally that's from members of the community sharing things, talking about smaller topics that are a bit more sensitive. You can always join and cancel if you don't find it useful. Any contributions are always helpful. I usually try and do my end of year analysis sometime around the start of the year. Looking at my spend tracker for 2024, I have all my credit cards reported in for the year-end spend summaries except for my future debit card, which isn't a credit card, and the Redstone Federal Credit Union credit card. The latter of the two, the Redstone Federal Credit Union card, doesn't do a year-end summary, and as far as I can tell, they don't allow you to look at your transactions online for like further back than a few months. So I'm going to have to manually go through all the PDFs for the statements for those, put them into a spreadsheet, and then equate some kind of metric for what each transaction goes into terms of categories. Because if you look at my previous years for my spend analysis, I do categories like dining, entertainment, gas, groceries, health, merchandise, home improvement, wholesale, other services, travel, utilities, education, automotive, memberships, and untracked spend. And on the statements for Redstone Federal Credit Union, they don't provide you with a category. They just provide you with the merchant name. So I'm going to have to manually go through every single transaction I've had of that card and see what category it falls into. And I'm just dreading doing it. Every other card I've done already. The future card's also going to have to be manual tracking. Maybe both of these I can try hooking up to like Mint and get that to automatically do it. I don't use Mint because I have too many cards. Like on this spend analysis sheet, I have 29 cards that I'm tracking. Most of them are automatic. They generate their own spend summaries, and either I input into a spreadsheet that aggregates them all based on category and tells me the spend for each category, or it's a PDF like Bank of America, and I just copy the data over. But for these two, it's annoying. So maybe I'll see if I can do something with like Mint or some kind of spend tracking service. I don't even know if Redstone Federal Union supports like Plaid. Hopefully I do. I'm sure Future does, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. Like for my Albert card, I used it up until, what is this? What month is this? I don't even know. But I used it for part of the year last year, and that one's fully manual tracking, which takes like probably an hour to just go through it. I had to actually activate my Albert account in order to get in to look at my transactions. And to do that, you have to get a trial of Genius to do it because they don't allow you to have the account without it. Really big pain. But next episode, February, I will have my spend analysis. Thus far, it's looking like I spent around the same as last year. It seems like I always settle around the same number. So stay tuned for that. I have to also manually track my Venmo transactions because a lot of these people have paid me for. And also I'm starting to better track manufactured spend. So like opening up a bank account, funding that, buying a bunch of gift cards. Like Pepper was huge this year. Looking at my gift cards, I purchased $5,000 of gift cards on Pepper. So I don't want to include that in the spend because that's value that I still have. At least I don't want to include the value that I still have pocketed because I haven't spent it yet. But all that 4 minutes of preamble just to say coming soon. Keep an eye out. All right. Before we dive into it, intro music was by my brother's band, Heavy Lemon. They have a few new songs out on Spotify. They've redone some of their old ones with their new band members. So give that a listen if you're interested. All right, we'll dive right in. Shout out to Bleak Choo Choo and J Cali 89 for this, but they shared with me that Archive PH is a good way to get past paywalls for certain sites. I know last episode I called out that something was blocked behind a paywall and I was too bothered to figure out how to get past it, but that's an easy solution. Archive PH, thank you to you both. All right, to start us off, I'll go with one of my favorites. Some new class action lawsuits are out there. So one of them is a Wall Street a Walgreens Savings Club litigation. This one specifically, I think, for pharmacy purchase that you made at Walgreens, specifically around their Savings Club offering. Let's see what this is alleging. This is for individuals, third-party payers, health insurers, and other entities who paid for prescription drugs at Walgreens. Class action lawsuit claims that Walgreens failed to include prescription savings club prices when determining the usual and customary prices for prescription reimbursement. I know I've personally have never purchased pharmaceuticals at Walgreens before, so I'm not eligible for this, but if you are, why not hop in there? It looks like there's $100 million payment that's eligible. I'm not sure how much it'll go down to for individuals, but sign up for it if you can. There's some payouts coming up here. The next one is a payout that I had. So according to Doctor of Credit, they're paying out 80% for net settlement funds. So it depends on how many people apply. The dates are from 2007 to 2024. So that's a huge range of people who could be affected. And your date to apply for that is April 17th. All right, next there was a payout for me. Verizon Wireless postpaid class action settlement up to $100 payment. Payments came out in the $5 to $15 range. I think I got like maybe $7. I had my mom message me and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, I think it's for some class action I signed you up 4 years ago." So she got a few bucks out of it. But take a look at your PayPal, your bank account, see if you got that paid out. Next, it looks like Bank of America is getting sued for some of their bait and switch tactics. Specifically around the KLM co-branded card. And I just quickly read through the class action. I mean, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but a summary that I read from this was customer opened a card with a $3,000, 70,000 point sign-on bonus. They lost the card, got the card reissued, and then when the card was reissued, Bank of America bait and switched them to a $3,000, 50,000 point offer. They've reached out to Bank of America and they said, "Nope, yeah, you have a $50,000 50,000 point offer. I don't know what you're talking about." My guess is just bad IT on this, but I'm glad that consumers are getting defended over this. Like they should be honored their 70,000 if that's what they signed up for, and I'm glad someone's going after it. And then speaking of this, if keeping track of all these class actions is a pain in the butt for you and you don't want to think about it, there is class action as a service if you're interested. There's a company called Sparrow that offers this. It looks like it's a paid service. I think it's like a few bucks per month. I haven't really looked into this. Let me see. Yep, it's a $5 pill per month. The annual plan is backed by Sparrow's money back guarantee, meaning if you don't earn more than what you paid, we'll refund you your money back. How do I know if I'm eligible? How do you know if I'm eligible for a claim? Our mission is to make class actions more accessible. Most claims on the Sparrow site are no proof required, meaning you don't need to dig through your piles and piles of receipts. However, each class action has a set of requirements to file, and the class action here submitted under perjury. Make sure to read these requirements carefully. After submitting the claim, the paperwork will be mailed to the settlement administrator, and ultimately, any funds that are paid out, if any, is dedicated to the settlement administrator. Basically, they will go through and look at all of the different class actions that are out there and specify ones that really are hands-off. Like there's some of them that you don't have to provide proof. You're just going to fill out the form and you get a few bucks. That's the ones that they're targeting. So if you're interested in that, it looks like a no-brainer because they're going to give you your money back. You're just giving $5 a month for the service of not having to look at these class action sites yourself or listen to me yap about it for an hour and figure out which ones you're eligible for. For better or worse, I'm trying to make these a little bit quicker. I mean, maybe you like listening to me talk for a while, but I feel like a lot of times I get on tangents and I try and cut out things that aren't really pertinent to, I don't know, anybody. So let's keep moving here. Lightning deal, it's expired now. And here's one that I think is a bit superfluous. Like it's an expired lightning deal, but I'm just trying to advertise the Patreon, I guess. That's how don't ask how the sausage is made. Top cash back. Spend $15, get $2.50 off. This one I promote pretty often because you can just buy gift cards and get $2.50 off, which comes to quick math. You can't do math. Oh, they fixed it. You can do math in the search bar again. It comes out to 16% off, and that's on top of any credit card cash back you get. So that can be like 20% off of a gift card. It's low spend, but hey, it's better than nothing. Next is a win for consumers with before the CFPB maybe gets gutted. Consumer Finance Protection Bureau has finalized a rule that will remove all medical debt from being listed on personal credit card reports and prevents lenders from using medical information in their lending decisions. In 2023, the three main consumer credit reporting agencies agreed to make changes to how medical debt is reported. Mainly, it shows that... let me just continue reading Dr. Credit because I'm going to say what I want to say. New scoring models have already been reducing the importance or discarding medical debt as it's not a reliable indicator of creditworthiness in the first place, as evident by a 2014 report by the CFPB. I mean, that makes sense, right? If you get cancer and can't pay your medical bills, that doesn't mean that you're financially incompetent or not a what's the term that they used? You're not worthy of credit. You're just someone who was a victim of circumstance. All right, next, a bunch of things. Well, it's actually just one thing about Ally. One thing about Ally that I saw a bunch. So 20 days ago, Mushu Pork, great name, posted that Ally's having a rough patch, not doing mortgages going forward and not focusing on credit cards either. And then, oh God, what's his name? That's his name, RJ Financial. He's a great YouTuber, kind of podcast. He just talks about a bunch of credit card stuff. He's a huge credit card nerd, and I enjoy listening to him sometimes. He covered this a bit, so I read it. I heard about it there, and then I saw further on our credit cards saying that Ally's getting fully out of the credit card business and that they're selling their credit business to CardWorks and Merrick Bank, and then Dr. Credit picked up the story. So Dr. Credit says, Ally and CardWorks Inc. and its wholly owned subsidiary Merrick Bank have entered into a definitive agreement for CardWorks to acquire Ally's credit card portfolio that includes a total of 1.3 million active customers and $2.3 billion in credit card receivables. The deal is expected to close by the end of this year. And those of you who remember, I'm trying to find the name. Ally purchased the Allo card, which was a subprime card that I think was the first one that had above 2% cashback. Yeah, it offered 2.5% cashback, but it was specifically, you had to be targeted in the mail for it. And it was subprime, so I would never get it. But I always had this dream of opening my mail one day and getting an Allo invite to get 2.5% cashback. And now if we look at my spend analysis for this year, I average, at least for the data that I have in there just thus far, I feel like that can't be right. It must be right. I average 6.92% cashback. I don't think that's right. That seems inaccurate. I mean, that's the numbers. Yeah, 6.92% cashback. Just based on all the deals that I do throughout the year. Anyway, it's funny to see how I've changed in my journey. All right, next. Since I'm doing some crypto purchases this year, I was looking into Coinly, and I do a lot of crypto purchases on Robinhood because I have Robinhood Gold, and their platform just makes things pretty easy to use. So I was using Coinly, which is a tax service for crypto, especially because the IRS is requiring, I think, cost basis for every transaction you make. I think that was postponed until next year. Obviously, not financial advice, not a tax advisor, not a CPA, whatever. But I tried to hook up Robinhood to Coinly, and you have to add API key. Thankfully, I'm a software engineer, so that's pretty easy for me to do. And I went through and added it, and Coinly just kept telling me that the keys were wrong. And it was weird. I'm like, I definitely am doing this right. And I went through and looked at Coinly's support forms, and it turns out other people are also getting this issue. And I rebumped the issue on Coinly, and I'm like, hey, I'm still not able to do this. Is there any update here? And Coinly support got back to me and was like, oh, it turns out Robinhood has two different ways of generating their API key. They have on their document support site to generate the keys, they have instructions to do it in Python and instructions to do it in Next.js. And I'm more familiar with just spinning up Python, so I did it in Python. And turns out when Coinly implemented the API feature, they didn't support the Python output. They just supported the Next.js output. My guess is the engineer that pulled in the work just chose to do it in Next.js because maybe they had their stuff installed and didn't check to see if Python would output a different format. But why would you output two different formats for API keys within the same document? Anyway, I went back and installed Next.js locally and ran it on that and generated the keys and put it into Coinly, and it worked fine. And now, according to Coinly, both of them work fine as they should. Again, I don't know why Robinhood had two different versions on their site, but it works now. Next, just shout out to, as always, Cleed. He's like my main contributor for new credit card designs. Like, he opens up an ungodly amount of debit cards and bank accounts to just get new credit card designs. So shout out to him for all the contributions he's had. If you ever want to take a look on the site, it's pinned. It's in the top nav bar. It's card designs. If you ever want to submit stuff, there's stuff on there that I'm definitely missing. So you can submit your own images and have it sourced in the site. This is all on the companion site, by the way, fearthez.com. Next, we have a post on our credit cards. There's often like some super high quality posts. And there was a comment that I definitely agreed with by, the original post is by Red Volleyball on our credit cards. It's titled, When to Cash Out Your Points, a Mathematical Guide. And they went through and meticulously derived an equation to evaluate when you should cash out your points based on, like, I think time value of points and money and the cash out rate. They even went through the trouble of creating an example spreadsheet to show you what it would look like to calculate these things. But I definitely resonate with the first comment on this from JLC203, which says, I'm not going to read or use this, but have an upvote for the effort. Yeah, they nerded out here, which is amazing. They have some super valuable insights here. I mean, if you're interested in reading horribly formatted formulas on Reddit, this is your cup of tea. If you need some idle reading in the morning, go for it instead of your newspaper, but I won't read it. Just wanted to share it and update it. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't update. There you go. That's an update. All right. Next, we got Delta and Uber partner to earn miles on rides and food deliveries, and their partnership with Lyft has ended. So you can sign up for the wait list, which I went through and did. You can earn 1 Delta mile per $1 spent on standard Uber X rides to the airport. Not valid for regular Uber rides, only on rides to the airport or from the airport. Earn 1 Delta mile per $1 spent on Uber Eats delivery orders from restaurants and groceries, only valid on orders of $40 or more. Every 2 miles, earn 2 miles for every dollar spent on Uber Comfort and Uber Black rides. Uber Black is just, I think, that's the upgraded version of Uber. And then earn 3 miles per dollar on Uber Reserve trips, which are like, I think you could book ahead. They previously had a Delta Lyft partnership, and that will end soon, and this seems like it's replacing it. It's nice to get extra points. I guess the only one that I would probably find useful, I don't even know if I have Delta hooked up to my Uber card. I probably should do that just to get the points. But like riding to the airport, sometimes I do that if I'm being lazy, because I live in like a public transit dead zone, so it would take me like 45 minutes to get to the airport when an Uber would be like 10. Uber Eats is nice, but $40 is a hefty price to be paying for Uber Eatsing, especially with all the discounts that we get. All right, moving on. This one was sad. This is back in the days when Amazon was nice. Amazon Gift of Prime must be used by February 5th of 2025. So for those that remember, back in like 2021, like during COVID, for a while before that too, you could buy a gift of Prime, which would just be like basically a gift card that you were able to redeem for a year of Amazon Prime. And what was good about that was you can purchase it and it would just guarantee you, it was like $119 because that was the price at the time. And you could just redeem it for Amazon Prime. And then when they upped the price to $139, you could still redeem those Amazon Gift of Prime memberships for a full year of Prime, even though it was $20 less. I wound up buying one and got $20 off one year. But they recently have discontinued that, I think like maybe a few years ago. And they just announced that you have until February 5th to use these. And if you don't, they will automatically be converted to Amazon gift cards. So they're definitely closed that loophole. And they've also are just fully no longer supporting Amazon Gift of Primes. So next I had a city sign-up bonus that I talked about in the last episode. I just want to call out that I called and closed my city access checking. I zeroed out the account. And I called, I think I actually got charged like a $5 or $10 dormancy fee. And I called and they waived it and closed the account, which was fine. Another data point for me is my Navy Federal Credit Union credit card, the flagship card, the actual sign-up bonus for that hit. So I did receive actually I have the full data points here, so I'll just read it. I opened the account on December 22nd. On December 22nd, I also applied for the flagship credit card and was approved. On January 11th, I received a $300 new member bonus on the card, which was a $300 sign-up bonus, which I've seen the discussions in Doctor of Credit on whether that should be counted as interest or not, because technically I received that before I made any purchase on the card. Hell, like I received that before I even had the card in hand. So I don't really know what that counts as. Because it was technically tied to just opening up the membership and not tied to the card itself. But you had to apply for the card to get it. So I don't know. And then on January 18th, I received an email saying I met the requirements of the flagship card. And mind you, it was a $3,000 spend. So I did that in less than a month. I talked about it a little bit on the Discord. So if you want to hear more about it, definitely hit me up there. Just like an easy manufactured spend way to meet credit card sign-up bonuses. And then January 18th, the same day, I received 40,000 points on my account. It's annoying that Navy Federal requires you to have a minimum of $50 to redeem. So I have like some lingering Navy Federal Credit Union points that are just sitting in there, which are annoying. But I'm glad to have a Navy Federal Credit Union relationship. I've heard good things about them. And hopefully I'll continue to get value out of it. All right, flying through here. Next, just Chase's pre-approval tool is back. It was down for a little bit, and now it's back. It's good to see if you're pre-approved for anything. I'm obviously not because I'm like 1024, but take a look and see if you have any offers out there if you're under 524. Next, Dosh is shutting down their rewards app. So those of you who don't know, Dosh is how do I even say what this is? It's like they're card linking rewards. So like you link your card to Dosh, like you put in your full credit card number, and then when you make a purchase at a merchant, Dosh will track that you made that purchase. Like you don't have to do anything in Dosh. You might have to activate an offer to get like a boosted value, but all you have to do is just make the purchase and you automatically just get rewards for it, which is really nice. Also kind of scummily, Dosh instituted a dormancy maintenance fee. So they instituted that, I think it was like quarterly. They assess your account, and if you don't have any transactions on your card within like a quarter, they reduce $5. But on top of that, they had a limit or a minimum to withdrawal of like $20. So I had like $14 or like $18 in the account, and I got dinged twice for the minimum. They'll never charge you like that out of your pocket, but they'll take it out of your Dosh balance. So I wound up only having $4 left in the account, which is kind of scummy. It looks like I made a lifetime cashback of $174 on Dosh. Scrolling through, I want to see if anything paid out like really big. There was a mattress firm purchase that I made. I bought my dad a mattress and a bed frame. And since it's just like a link, you put your credit card number into the app and it automatically tracks. So like I got other cashbacks and then this one just stacked on top. There was an Adidas purchase that I made a while ago. I think I made a Reddit post for that. I'll see if I can dig that up. Hold on. I dug it up. It was a purchase of mine that I made a post about on our credit cards on 4 years ago. And that post didn't get much traction, but my comment later, which was also 4 years ago, did get some traction. And I'll leave links to these in the show notes if you're interested in reading. And this is exactly why I get on side tangents. I made a purchase at Adidas for a pair of Ultra Boosts, which if you have not worn Ultra Boosts, they're like my favorite, like just knock around shoe. It was $122 for the shoes. I purchased it with my Cash App card, which had a boost of, I don't know what the offer was, but it was $7.50 off of that. That works out to 122 or 7.5 divided by 122. 6% off there. And then add that to Rakuten had another cashback offer for $14.04 off of 120, which came out to 12% off. So 12 plus 6 is 20%. And then Dosh on top of it gave me $18.30. So 120 divided by 18.30. I did that backwards. 18.30 divided by 120 came out to 15%. So that was 35% off total for my purchase. It required a lot of hoops, but getting a pair of Ultra Boosts at that time for $90 was like the best that they go for. I also got some referrals from this post for people wanting to sign up for Dosh. So I got some Dosh points from that, but I wound up losing like $10 of those Dosh points. So that's kind of sad. Next, there is a city checking bonus for $325, $750, and $1,500. It looks like don't block me. The bonus is for maintaining a minimum balance of 30 to 200,000 for 750 or 200,000 plus for 1,500. And then they also say earn 325 with enhanced direct deposit for one of them, or you can do the 750, 1,500. And then they say make at least 2 enhanced direct deposits totaling $3,000 into your eligible checking account within 90 days of your account opening. EDDs consist of qualifying deposits and certain digital payments made via ACH, including Venmo, Zelle payments, PayPal, recurring paychecks, pension payments, and Social Security payments. So this one explicitly says Venmo payments are included. Venmo. I've never seen that before. I'm curious to see if like Venmo actually counts. If we look at their direct deposit, Dr. Credit's direct deposit, what triggers direct deposit for bank accounts, and when we look at Citi, people do confirm that Venmo works. I've just never seen the bank explicitly say Venmo works. It's new to me. Next, purchasing Nexus is now triggering the Capital One and American Express Global Entry Credit. So Nexus is like a different entry for accessing the country. Nexus is for, I don't even know what the heck Nexus is for. Let me check. It's pre-screening for United States and Canada transit. I don't know why you would do that instead of just like global entry, but anyway, you can include Nexus instead. It's nice that they explicitly call those out. Next, both reported on Reddit by Boiler Wire on our training as well as Dr. Credit, but Bank of America has instituted a quarterly spend tracker for their $2,500 quarter limit on the customized cash rewards. I'm still not seeing this in my app. People are saying that it takes some time to show for everybody. I'm on Android, so maybe that's why it doesn't work. The screenshot on Reddit shows it working on iOS. I recognize the screenshot as iOS, and it's not on Android, so I'm curious if it's just not made its way to Android yet. Let me check right now. Yeah, I'm still not showing it on mine. I don't have this button. There's supposed to be a button that says See Spend Progress, and mine does not have that. Going through all the different sections of the app, yeah, I don't have that. Unfortunate. It'd be nice if that pops out. I mean, there's a way to like just check your last month and your last 3 months and then kind of like quasi look at it, but it'd be nice to have an actual tracker. I still haven't seen what the tracker looks like. Like people are saying the tracker's here, but like I've only seen a link to the tracker. I haven't seen what the tracker actually looks like, which is really frustrating that no one's actually posted that. Anyway, next there was a devaluation from Air France and KLM Flying Blue. They have overnight devalued their flights and are now costing 25% more. Flying Blue claims that this is part of their change, that they have added more awards inventory, but that remains to be seen. I know there's been some CFPB probes into stopping things like this with just arbitrarily changing the value of points. So I don't know if anything come of that, but we'll see. Next, speaking of regulatory bodies, the CFPB is accusing Capital One of cheating millions of customers out of interest rate payments. And I saw a really good summary of what exactly happened here from Bilbo Maggot 69, a classic name. It was very scummy of Capital One to do that. Essentially, they had their first savings account product with high interest. They decided to then make a new savings account product with high interest and lower the original one down to 0.3% without informing anybody. I never really understood what the point of this was other than to try to steal people's monies. They're not the only bank that I've seen do this, and the namings of the two products are very similar. Like one's like 360 performance savings and one was like performance savings or vice versa. And they just hoped customers didn't notice that their rates went down. It is very scummy to do that. I don't really have anything else. It's just scummy. I know that if customers called and made note of it, the representative would be like, "Oh yeah, we can change that for you," but they weren't automatically moved over. I mean, it's just Capital One trying to pad their pockets like all big corporations do. Dr. Credit also covered this. We'll move on. There's nothing much else to talk about there. Again, more governing bodies. Division of Transportation sues Southwest and fines Frontiers for delayed flights. They are suing Southwest for illegally operating multiple chronically delayed flights and disrupting passengers' travel. They're also announcing that Frontier Airlines will be fined $650,000, $325,000 to be paid to U.S. Treasury, and the remaining to be suspended if the carrier does not operate any chronically delayed flights in the next 3 years. Yeah, that's not happening. The DOT considers a flight to be chronically delayed if it is flown at least 10 times per month and arrives more than 30 minutes late or more than 50%. Jesus Christ. The DOT considers a flight to be chronically delayed if it is flown at least 100 times per month. 10 times per month and arrives more than 30 minutes later, more than 50% of the time. Okay, I'm just moving on. There's too many contingencies there. I don't think it's Frontier, guys. Like, let's just be real here. Next is a data point from me for my Wings Federal Credit Union sign-up bonus. So the requirements here were to set up direct deposits to the new checking account within 60 days of account opening, $5,000 or more for a $400 bonus. There was some stipulation. Oh, and on top of this, you have to use the debit card 5 times for $25 transactions each. There were some stipulations in the comments of Dr. Credit on whether you need to actually keep the direct deposit to be recurring or not. You'll see in my data points that I made some changes. So September 11th, I opened the account with $500 credit card funding that coded as a purchase. Then I did a $1,500 real direct deposit on September 20th. On October 4th, I did another $2,000 real direct deposit. In October, I did 5 separate $26 Citi credit card payments with a debit card. If you know, you know. Then on October 18th, I did another $2,000 real direct deposit, totaling to $4,000 for that month. Then I kind of had a hiatus until the end of November, and I was like, oh snap, I need to add a direct deposit back because it needs to be recurring. So I did a $50 direct deposit bi-weekly starting at the end of November, and then twice in December and twice in January. And then on January 16th, I received an email saying that I met the requirements. And then on that same date, I received a $400 2024 September promo checking credit. So it was nice to get this in before the end of the year. So that was a nice little win for me. Next, we have a whole slew of American Express updates. American Express is not out of the federal probing either. The DOJ launches a fraud probe against American Express in the order of $230 million for deceptive marketing. American Express will pay a total of $230 million to resolve federal wire fraud investigations and to settle civil allegations of deceptive marketing, the company said Thursday. That's all I'll get into there. In positive news for American Express, they're opening up a Centurion Lounge in Boston Logan in Terminal C. I'm trying to remember where this is in Terminal C. There's Terminal A, and then there's B and C connect to each other. I wonder if this is like the new C extension. There's like a BC connector. I wonder if it's in there. It's supposed to open sometime in 2027, which is a long time from now. And according to Dr. Credit, they never open on time. So Moving on, I received a weird American Express Platinum credit. So there was a post on my account that shows credit for benefit error, ERR, negative $10.45. Don't know what that is. Probably some offer that I used at some point and they realized they didn't pay me enough. So they gave me a one-time credit. Nice to see. I wish I knew what it was for, but sure. Next, Dr. Credit covered this as well as I saw it on Reddit, but American Express is removing their foreign transaction fee. They're adding back foreign transaction fees on their debit cards. So they were previously offering it on their business checking account as well as on their just regular checking account, because I have a regular checking account, and then I received an email saying effective February 21st, they're instituting the 2.7% foreign transaction fee. And specifically, they already had fees, then took them away, and now they're reinstating them again. And then someone by the name of Parts Unknown on Reddit said tariffs are back in style, and I thought that was funny, and I upvoted that. Next, there was some interesting happenings with the German American Express Platinum. They're now restricting Priority Pass to a maximum of 50 visits per year. This is from Despicable Casual on Reddit. A visit is defined as a person entering the lounge. So if you go into a Priority Pass lounge with a guest, that counts as 2 visits. Hopefully this doesn't come to the U.S., but I don't know. It's weird that it's just for Germany. And I don't know how this guy learned about this. I guess he was following this Meilenoptimieren. Is it a German website? This is a German website. Meilenoptimieren. Okay. I don't even know what this pop-up says. I know a little German. Schlecht is bad. It's like a negative change. Nachrichten for a negative change for American Express subscribers. Gewähren means to like go, I think. Entertain. I'm not going to read this. Next was something that I was reading on Miles Earn and Burn, and some further probing is needed here. But they had a post on January 27th about American Express Business Platinum. January airline credit hits different. And they said the American Express Platinum and Business Platinum cards famously have a $200 annual incidental airline credit. There's no trophy for being the first data point on what works for gaming the credits, so often waiting a few weeks to learn what works is the right play. As a side note, here's what it looks like in 2025. United by Travel Bank directly for the credit, and you'll just get the credit for loading your Travel Bank. And then they go on to explain Delta, Alaska, Southwest, American, JetBlue, and Spirit. And there's less nice things, less easy like loads for those. But at the end, they say, we've buried the lead through January. We've buried the lead, though. January is special with American Express because you can change your selected airline once this month only, even if you've already received your incidental credit on a different airline. You'll have 5 days left to do that. That was as of January 27th, and today's January 29th, so you still have time. So what I'm reading through the lines here is you can opt in for one of the airlines. So like United, load your Travel Bank, get the credit, then change it, and then potentially get the credit for that airline later. I'm going to try that and see what happens. But I figured I'd call that out as Miles Earn and Burn called it out. Then final American Express point here. They changed their shop runner and auto purchasing program to no longer be in effect. I don't even know who has a partnership with Shop Runner anymore, but that's not a surprise that they ended it. I don't even know what Auto Purchase Protect program was. So, but they're gone. How sad. Last few things here. Actually, not last few things, but we are winding down, thankfully. 2 things about the Apple Card. They are in talks with Barclay and Synchrony for the credit card portfolio. This has been in the works for a while. I know that Goldman doesn't want this product anymore, and they want to get out of the credit card programs. So Apple's trying to find a suitor, but they can't really find one. And then I found this interesting. The Dr. Credit shared this reminder. I didn't know that's how this worked either, and that's why Dr. Credit's sharing it, because they also didn't know how it worked. But they share that Apple Card authorized users earn their own cash back to their own account, and it's not pooled into the main cardholder's cash back. So this is very different from basically how all authorized users work, because you're spending on the actual account holder's card. So the account holder is responsible for the payments and for all purchases made on the card. But in this case, the authorized user gets the points, which I guess is good if you're opening it for like a kid and you like just want to give them some incentive for using a credit card. But it's weird it works this way. And that's pretty much it. Next, I'm going for the Bank of America $300 checking bonus, which is requirements are to open up a Bank of America eligible personal checking account by January 31st and receive qualifying direct deposits of $2,000 or more within 90 days. Pretty simple. You can be a previous account holder for this, and it didn't mention anything about receiving the bonus in the past, so I don't think that would be a limiter as well. So I opened up the account. I already have Platinum Honor status, so I'm eligible to open this account and not have any fees. So I'm just going to put a real DD in there and see how it goes. Next, I received a pretty alarming email from Wealthfront that said, unable to process Wealthfront payment, please review and resubmit. Hi, Fear the Z. We're reaching out because you scheduled an outgoing payment to transfer from your individual cash account today that was declined due to an isolated issue with our partner bank, Green Dot. This issue has been resolved, however. In order to proceed your payment or transfer, we need you to resubmit the transaction to the other institution. We apologize for the inconvenience this has caused, and please let us know if you have any late fees as a result of this issue. Note that you may receive an automated email next week to let you know that the failed payment or transfer, but please feel free to discard this notice if you have received confirmation at the other institution after reestablishing the transaction. So I was like, what the hell? What didn't go through? I went through and looked at my cards and I didn't notice anything. And then a few days later, I received an email from Discover saying that my one-time payment didn't go through. My Discover card has an offer that they gave me for 12 months of 0% interest, but I didn't realize that was on, I think, on new purchases only. And I had $50 lingering on the account. So that's just been accruing interest for a few months. It was I don't know, $2 worth of interest. So I issued a one-time payment to pay that off. And that one-time payment got denied by Wealthfront for some reason. But Wealthfront didn't tell me what transaction was denied. I just had to wait for Discover. So I went over to my Discover account and they fully removed my Wealthfront checking account from the payees. And that was set up as my automatic payment. And then I went back in to add Wealthfront back. Upon typing it in, first off, they wouldn't accept it because they specifically blocked that account and that routing number. But two, Discover's online form only accepts account numbers up to but not including 13 numbers. And Wealthfront's account numbers are 13 numbers. So I couldn't type in the full account number. So I called Discover, told them about the problem. She didn't understand the whole character limit on the form, which that's fine because it's talking to an agent about a tech thing. They're not going to understand what I'm talking about. But she told me that we needed to call Wealthfront with me on the line. And I was like, oh no, I don't know if Wealthfront even has a phone number. It turns out they do. And they picked up in 2 minutes, which was kind of crazy. So we did a 3-way call. They just verified that the account number I was giving was actually a valid account number at Wealthfront and that it was my account. After that, they reinstated my account number. They put that account back into the portal for me and set up automatic payments, which was nice. So kudos to both Discover and Wealthfront reps. It was actually super painless. Next is a lightning deal that expired for an Uber Eats promo for 40% off. Again, if you want to get these things, subscribe to the Patreon, just as little as $1 a month. Next is a lightning deal that's still going on. It actually started today, but for today until I think February 12th or something, you can buy two $50 Uber gift cards at Costco for $75. You can purchase them one time per rolling 14 days, I believe. And on top of that, I got a message from, I think it was Dion. Let me check. Nope, not Dion, but shout out Dion. It was from Erica. Erica told me that the deal is per online account. So if you have one Costco membership like I do and you're sharing it with another person, I share it with my mom, each account that you sign on to, my account and my mom's account, both of those are eligible for the purchase. So you can purchase it twice within 14 days once per account. So that's nice. Next, there's a few brokerage bonuses that are available. There's a few that I covered in previous episodes, and I determined that I'm going to be going for the trade-up bonus come March time. So there was a good write-up by, hold on, where the heck did it go? I thought I pinned a particular comment on this post. Did I not? What's the link here? I didn't. Snap. But this has weird intricacies where they pay out at the start of a quarter. So you have to deposit 50. The bonus is really convoluted to read, but essentially you get a 2% match on your deposit when you transfer in $50,000 or more. If you transfer $100,000, you get an additional 1% match, so $3,000 total, which is a 3% match. I think that, yes, yeah, 3% match. But they pay out in quarters at a maximum of I think $350 per quarter. So, and you have to hold the funds there for 90 days after the final payment. So it would behoove you to wait until the end of a quarter to deposit the funds to start that 90-day ticker, to keep the funds in this account for as little as possible. So my plans are to move over $50K from Bank of America to get the $1,000 bonus for that $50K, leave it there for the absolute minimum amount of time, which I think is a year and 90 days, and then withdraw and put it back to Bank of America. I might lose platinum honor status with that, or just platinum. I think I have just platinum. But I think it's still worth it. And I might be able to get just gold status to keep the fee free. And I'll be able to break down what my benefits are from the credit card rewards boost and platinum honors when my 2024 spend analysis is done. And then there's another bonus. There's a first trade is kind of matching Robinhood's IRA bonus. So they do a 3% IRA contribution match and a 2% transfer bonus, which is exactly matching what Robinhood does right now, except they don't require a Robinhood Gold subscription or any subscription. They do have a 5-year hold-up period, just like Robinhood. So you can now pick your poison. I think I still go with Robinhood, but to each their own. Next, the Bank of America Premium Rewards and Premium Rewards Elite meter for the airline and lifestyle credits have finally reset. There was a time where the airline one, this is the longest it's taken to reset. I think it took until January 27th for the meter to finally reset. And even then, the lifestyle credit was still showing as full, but was showing 2025 as the date. But when you clicked on it, it still showed your transactions from last year, so it was a bit buggy. But everything should be working. And also, any purchases made in that time should still count. You definitely have a claim for that because it's per calendar year, not when the meter resets. Next, bumping back 2 updates ago. Speaking of the IRA bonus, I just filled my Robinhood IRA because the market took a bit of a plunge after the DeepSeek news, so I figured it was a good time to buy a little bit. And I'm in the position where I need to do a backdoor Roth IRA, and Robinhood thankfully supports that natively, but I run into a bit of a weird situation with Robinhood that with specifically a backdoor IRA that I don't really know how it works for tax purposes. And I'll probably spark up a discussion in the Discord, or if you have any insight, definitely message me, and I won't take your words as financial advice, and neither is mine, please. But when you do a Roth conversion, you're supposed to take funds and directly put it into a traditional account, and then just move those funds over to your Roth IRA. With Robinhood Gold and the IRA match, the match immediately gets put into your account as interest when you fund the account, when you make your contribution. So when I put the funds into the traditional account, I got my $210 match for the $7,000 contribution I made, and then I transferred that over to my Roth IRA. I think that I have to pay taxes on that $210 as if it was interest, it was capital gains tax. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but I'm going to have to figure that out. If anybody has dealt with this, let me know. It's also a weird quirk. If Robinhood natively supports this conversion and you get this boost, they should let you elect to wait to get your match until it goes into your Roth account. It's on in the traditional account. Because traditionally, when you do a Roth IRA conversion or a backdoor Roth IRA, you don't want any interest or anything accruing in your traditional account because you'll owe taxes on it as capital gains. But now I'm stuck with it. So take word for the wise. Maybe see if there's a way around it. Next, One Finance has a good sign-up bonus right now on Rakuten for $200. They also have debit card funding. It's pretty low. Actually, it's down to $125, it looks like, on Rakuten. But if you don't have a One Finance account yet, it's a pretty decent bonus. You can also use our Discover debit card if you want to use that to fund the account. You probably are maxing that out with Apple Cash loads right now, but this could be another way if you don't have an Apple device. Last few things here. SoFi is launching a hotel card in the first half of 2025. There's some speculation that it could be Best Western, but it looks like it won't be by West Western, as First Bank and Trust Mercury Financial now issue those cards. So it's unsure who's going to be taking the co-branded partnership for this hotel card, but it's always nice to see new cards. Speaking of new cards, another update here is JetBlue Premier Card details have been leaked, and the card's actually available to apply for. The details are as follows: $500 annual fee, $150 for authorized users, up to $300 in statement credit per year on Paisley purchases. And Paisley is like their hotel portal kind of thing. For every Paisley by JetBlue purchase of $250 or greater through the use of the card account, you'll receive a $50 statement credit subject to a limit of 6 statement credits for a total of $300 per year. Each qualifying purchase must be $250 or more, less returns. That's crazy. So you can barely use that $300 limit or that $300 credit, because you'd have to spend $1,500 to get your $300 statement credit. That's nuts. You get Priority Pass Select. You get 6x on JetBlue purchases and Paisley purchases, 2x on restaurants and groceries, Group A boarding, and free check bag. And the sign-up bonus is 70,000 points for $5,000 spend and 5 tiles. I don't know what 5 tiles means. I don't know what a tile is. What is it? What's a tile? I have to go to the terms and conditions of the card. Tiles are True Blue's system of tracking your progress towards perks and mosaic status. I mean, this card seems pretty uninteresting to me. It also doesn't even include access to JetBlue lounges yet. I don't even think there are any open yet, but it doesn't say it includes it, which is kind of a bummer. All right, final 2 things here. Oh, that's a lie. Final thing here. There was a credit card that I didn't know about called Terps credit card. Apparently it wasn't great, had a $30,000 sign-up bonus. And then there were massive devaluations that cut points values in half, but not for redemption for airfare. And now the card is being discontinued, and the card is being converted to a UICCU Visa Signature card, which is the University of Illinois Community Credit Union, with 1.5% cash back on all purchases and 5% cash back on gas and travel. Additionally, the non-transactional membership savings account with UICCU that came with your Terps card, since Terps is issued by UICCU, will be upgraded to a full-service transactional account. That's a lot of words. What is this UICCU card? Let me read about this briefly. I don't see... I need, view disclosure. Where is this disclosure? Aha. Can I go to a different page? Where's page 2? They don't really specify if there's a limit to this 5% cashback, but that's a pretty good offering. I mean, that's not a bad replacement as 5% cashback goes. All right, and that's it for this episode. I somehow managed to go under an hour, which is crazy. Thanks, y'all, for listening. Here's to a great 2025. Stay tuned for the spend analysis next episode. And Lord help me in manually tracking $5,000 to spend in statements. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.